Champagne splashed across his shoes. Cameras flashed. Someone laughed too loudly. Adrian Vale did not look down at the mess. He did not look at the woman who had just bumped into him either. His eyes were locked on the red carpet across the room where his ex-fiancée stood glowing under the lights, her fingers laced with another actor's. "Adrian!" "Over here," a reporter shouted. He forced a smile. His jaw tightened when he saw his ex lean into the other man and whisper something that made him laugh. She knew the cameras were watching. She always knew. The premiere after-party buzzed with noise. Music thumped. Glasses clinked. People pretended not to stare at him. The woman in front of him bent quickly, grabbing napkins. "I'm so sorry. I didn't see." He still didn't look at her. Across the room, his ex lifted her gaze and met his eyes. Challenge. Mockery. Victory. Something reckless snapped inside him. He turned suddenly and grabbed the stranger by the waist. "What are you?" He kissed her. Hard. Not gentle. Not thoughtful. A kiss meant to be seen. Gasps rippled through the room. Someone dropped a glass. Cameras swung toward them like hunting birds. The woman froze for half a second, then shoved him back. Her palm connected with his cheek in a sharp slap. The room went silent. Adrian slowly turned his head back toward her, surprised. Her eyes burned. "Are you insane?" she hissed. He leaned closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "Smile. I don't even know you." "Trust me," he murmured. "You want to." "I absolutely do not." But the cameras were already too close. Microphones hovered. "Adrian," someone shouted. "Is this your new girlfriend?" He slipped his arm around her shoulders before she could escape. "Yes," he said smoothly. "I guess she is." Her eyes widened. "Excuse me." Flash. 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 Across the room, his ex stood frozen, her perfect smile cracked. That was all he wanted. He let the stranger go. She stepped back immediately. "You arrogant." Later, he said quietly. She stared at him like she wanted to throw another slap. Then she walked away. Adrian turned back toward the cameras, his expression calm again, but his cheek still stung. For the first time that night, he felt like he had won. He had no idea what he had just started. The next morning, Maya Rhodes woke up to 23 missed calls. She groaned and turned over. Her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. She ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. She opened her eyes. Notifications flooded her screen. Messages from her sister. Messages from classmates. Messages from numbers she did not recognize. Her heart began to race. She opened social media. Her face filled the screen. Frozen mid-kiss with Adrian Vale. Her stomach dropped. No. No, no, no. Headlines screamed. Adrian Vale moves on fast. Mystery girl steals the spotlight. Is this love or revenge? Her hands shook. There were comments under every photo. Who is she? She's using him. She's lucky. She's trash. Her breath came fast. She scrolled. Someone had already found her name. Maya Rhodes. Someone had tagged her old university photo. Her phone rang again. This time it was her sister. Maya answered immediately. "Leah? What did you do?" Leah's voice trembled. "I didn't do anything. He just grabbed me." "You kissed Adrian Vale on camera." "I did not kiss him. He kissed me." There was a pause. "Maya, they're saying you're his girlfriend." "I am not his anything." A knock hit her apartment door. Hard. Maya froze. Another knock. "Ms. Rhodes?" "Press." Her blood ran cold. "They're outside," she whispered. Leah swore softly. "Don't open the door." "I won't." Her phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. "We need to talk. AV." She stared at it. Her chest tightened. "You know what?" she muttered. "What?" Leah asked. "I'm going to fix this." Maya. But she had already hung up. 2 hours later, Maya marched into the glass building that housed Adrian's agency. The receptionist blinked. "Do you have an appointment?" "No. But he has a problem. And I am the solution." The receptionist hesitated. Before she could argue further, a tall man in a suit approached. "Ms. Rhodes." Yes. Mr. Vale is expecting you. Of course he was. They led her upstairs. Adrian stood by the window, sunglasses on, phone in hand. He looked calm. Too calm. He turned when she entered. You found us quickly. You ruined my life. That's dramatic. She stared at him. There are reporters outside my apartment. He sighed and removed his sunglasses. His cheek was faintly red. You hit hard, he said. You deserved it. He almost smiled. This will die down, he continued. No, it won't. Your fans already hate me. They don't hate you. They're curious. My university called. They want to know if I plan to capitalize on the attention. His expression shifted slightly. You're a student? Yes. A normal one. He studied her like he was seeing her for the first time. I didn't plan this, he said. You absolutely did. He paused. Then he shrugged slightly. I needed a distraction. From your ex? Silence. Her jaw tightened. You used me. Yes, he said simply. The honesty stunned her. And now, he continued, we both have a situation. I don't care about your situation. You should. She folded her arms. Why? Because my team believes this is good press. The movie releases in 6 weeks. The public loves a romance. Her stomach turned. No. They want us to date publicly. Absolutely not. It would protect you, he added quickly. She laughed bitterly. Protect me? You're the reason I need protection. If we deny it now, the press will dig deeper. They'll follow you. Question your family. Her breath caught. He noticed. You don't want that, he said softly. Her mind flashed to her mother. To old photos. To pain she kept buried. You don't know anything about me, she whispered. Then tell me. She shook her head. I hate celebrities. His eyebrow lifted slightly. That's unfortunate. No. It's justified. He studied her more carefully now. What do you want? He asked. She met his gaze. I want control, she said. And if you don't get it? She stepped closer. Then I promise you, she said quietly, I will destroy this little fairy tale your team is planning. For the first time since the kiss, Adrian Vale did not look amused. He looked intrigued. Adrian leaned back against the edge of his desk, folding his arms slowly. You're threatening me? He asked. I'm protecting myself, Maya replied. He studied her carefully. She wasn't dressed like the women who usually walked into his office. No designer bag. No careful makeup. Just jeans, a plain blouse, and anger that looked very real. You don't look like someone who wants attention, he said. I don't. Then why were you at my premiere? I won a ticket in a writing contest. That caught his attention. You write? Yes. Not gossip. Not celebrity nonsense. Real things. His lips twitched. I see. You don't, she snapped. You think this is a game. It is a game, he said calmly. The media is always a game. My mother didn't think it was a game. The words slipped out before she could stop them. His expression shifted. What does that mean? He asked quietly. She hesitated. She hadn't planned to tell him anything personal. But the anger in her chest was burning. A famous actor promised my mother the world, she said slowly. He told her he loved her. Told her he would leave his wife. Told her she was special. Adrian said nothing. He got her pregnant, Maya continued. And when the press found out, he denied her. Said she was lying. Said she was unstable. Adrian's jaw tightened. She died giving birth to me, Maya finished. Alone. While he went on to win awards. Silence filled the office. I grew up watching interviews of him smiling, she whispered. Watching people call him charming. Kind. Generous. Adrian swallowed. And you expect me to fake date you? She asked. You expect me to pretend this world isn't rotten? He didn't answer immediately. When he did, his voice was softer. I'm not him. You're exactly like him. That hit. He stepped forward slightly. You don't know me. I don't need to. You kissed a stranger to hurt someone else. His jaw tightened. That's not who I am, he said. It's exactly who you are. The door opened suddenly. His manager, Caroline, walked in holding a tablet. It's trending worldwide, she said without looking up. Hashtag Mystery Kiss Girl has 20 million posts. She finally noticed Maya's expression. "Oh," Caroline said. "You're here." "Yes," Maya replied flatly. "Unfortunately." Caroline gave Adrian a look. "We need to move fast. The public thinks this is romantic. If we confirm it, ticket sales will skyrocket." Maya's stomach twisted. "We are not confirming anything," she said. Caroline gave her a tight smile. "With all due respect, you don't have much choice." Maya's eyes narrowed. "Excuse me?" Caroline held up the tablet. "They've already found your sister's social media." Maya froze. "They're digging," Caroline continued. "If we don't control the narrative, they will." Adrian looked at Maya. "This is what I meant." Her throat went dry. She thought about Leah. Leah had finally started rebuilding her life. Therapy. A new job. Peace. If reporters went digging into their past. Her chest tightened painfully. "What are you suggesting?" Maya asked quietly. Caroline smiled like she'd been waiting for that question. "A controlled relationship," she said. 2 months. Public appearances. Interviews. Then an amicable breakup after the movie release. "I'm not an actress," Maya said. Caroline shrugged. "You don't need to be. You just need to look in love." Maya let out a hollow laugh. "Love," she whispered. Adrian watched her carefully. 2 months, he repeated. "And your family stays out of it." She looked at him sharply. "You guarantee that?" "Yes. And if they drag my sister into this?" "They won't." "That's not an answer." He stepped closer again. "I will not let that happen," he said firmly. For a second, she believed him. That scared her. "What do I get?" she asked. Caroline blinked. "Excuse me?" "You heard me," Maya said. "If I'm going to be used, I want something." Adrian's lips curved slightly. "Name it," he said. She hesitated. Money didn't matter to her. But protection did. "Public support for mental health charities," she said slowly. "On record. Donations. Events. And you attend them." Caroline looked surprised. Adrian nodded once. "Done. And if you humiliate me," Maya added, "even once I walk." Adrian held her gaze. "Fair." Caroline clapped her hands softly. "Perfect. We'll schedule a coffee run tomorrow. Casual. Paparazzi friendly." Maya stared at them both. "I can't believe I'm agreeing to this." Adrian gave a faint smile. "Neither can I." The next day, cameras followed them down a quiet street. Maya hated the sound of shutters clicking. She kept her head up. Adrian walked beside her, relaxed as always. "You look stiff," he murmured. "I feel stiff." "Relax your shoulders. Stop giving me acting advice." A photographer shouted, "Adrian, look here." He gently touched her lower back, guiding her toward the cafe. Her body tensed instantly. He felt it. "I'm not hurting you," he said softly. "I know." Inside, the cafe owner stared at them in shock. They ordered coffee. When they sat down, Maya leaned forward. "I mean it," she whispered. "Don't treat me like a prop." "I won't." "You already did." He didn't deny it this time. Instead, he said, "You're very brave." She frowned. "That's random. Most people would be enjoying this." "I'm not most people." "No," he agreed quietly. "You're not." Outside, cameras flashed again. She watched him through the window. "You don't even look bothered," she said. "I've lived with this since I was 5. She blinked. 5. "My father is Victor Vale." The name hit her like ice water. Her hands went cold. Victor Vale. The man from her mother's old photographs. The man she had grown up hating. Her heart began to pound. Adrian noticed the change in her face. "What?" he asked. "Nothing," she said quickly. But her mind was spinning. Victor Vale. Of all people. Fate couldn't be this cruel. "You don't like him?" Adrian asked lightly. She forced a neutral expression. "I don't like any of you." He chuckled softly. But she wasn't joking. Her chest felt tight. She stared at him differently now. His father. The same world. The same bloodline of charm and destruction. She pushed her coffee away. "This changes nothing," she told herself. But deep inside, something had just begun to unravel. The next few weeks felt like living inside a storm that never paused. Every morning, there were new photos. Adrian opening a car door for her. Adrian brushing a strand of hair from her face. Adrian looking at her like she was the only person in the world. The comments shifted. They look real. She makes him softer. He smiles differently around her. Maya read none of it. She tried not to. But sometimes at night, when the apartment was quiet, curiosity would win. She would scroll. And her heart would do something strange. Because in some photos, he wasn't acting. Neither was she. They attended charity events like she demanded. At the first mental health fundraiser, Adrian stood beside her on stage. Maya gripped the microphone tightly. "I lost my mother because of lies and pressure," she said steadily. "And I've seen what public cruelty can do to someone you love." The room was silent. Adrian looked at her. Really looked at her. No cameras in his eyes. Just attention. When it was his turn to speak, he surprised everyone. "The industry I grew up in isn't always kind," he admitted. "We forget there are real people behind headlines." Caroline nearly fainted backstage. Maya glanced at him. That wasn't scripted. Later, as they stood near the exit, she spoke quietly. "You didn't have to say that." "Yes, I did." "Why?" He shrugged slightly. "Because you were right." She studied his face. "You're confusing," she said. He smiled faintly. "You're the only person who's said that to me without flirting." She rolled her eyes, but her lips twitched. Another night, they were leaving a late interview show when a crowd of fans surged forward. "Maya, over here. Are you using him? Are you pregnant?" The question hit her like a slap. She froze. Adrian stepped in front of her immediately. "That's enough," he said sharply. Security moved quickly, but someone shoved forward. Maya stumbled. Adrian caught her before she fell. His arm wrapped around her protectively. "Easy," he murmured. Her breath came fast. She hated the crowd. Hated the noise. Hated how small it made her feel. He guided her into the car and shut the door. Inside, it was quiet. She stared straight ahead. "You okay?" he asked. "I hate this." "I know. You don't know." He watched her carefully. "You think I enjoy this?" he asked softly. "You chose it. I was born into it." That stopped her. He leaned back against the seat. "My father loved cameras more than he loved people," he said. "I learned early that attention feels like oxygen." She turned to him slowly. "And now? Now it just feels loud." She looked at him differently in that moment. Not as Adrian Vale the actor. Just Adrian. The car stopped at her apartment building. He didn't move immediately. "You flinched when I mentioned my father the other day," he said quietly. Her heart skipped. "I didn't." "You did." She looked away. "Why?" he asked. She hesitated. Because saying it out loud would make it real. Because what if she was wrong? Because what if she wasn't? "I told you," she said finally. "A famous actor ruined my mother's life." His expression softened. "You think it was him?" She didn't answer. But silence was enough. Adrian stared out the window for a long moment. "My father has ruined many things," he said quietly. "It wouldn't surprise me." Her chest tightened. "You don't defend him?" she asked. He gave a hollow laugh. "He defended himself plenty." That wasn't what she expected. Her chest tightened. "You don't defend him?" she asked. He gave a hollow laugh. "He defended himself plenty." That wasn't what she expected. "Does he know about you?" she asked. "He knows I exist," Adrian replied dryly. That's about it. There was something heavy in his voice. Lonely. She studied him carefully. "You don't see him much?" "Not unless there's an award involved." The honesty surprised her again. She opened the door slowly. "Good night," she said. "Maya." She paused. "If it was him," Adrian said quietly, "I'm sorry." Her throat tightened. She nodded once and stepped out. That night, she pulled out the old box from under her bed. Inside were photos, letters, a hospital bracelet, and one picture she hated looking at. Her mother standing beside Victor Vale. Young, smiling, hopeful. Maya traced her mother's face gently. "If it's him," she whispered into the darkness, "what does that make me?" The next week brought something worse. An old audio clip surfaced online. Adrian's voice. Clear. Calm. The kiss was perfect PR timing. It was from the morning after the premiere. Before he knew her. Before he heard her story. Before anything felt complicated. But the internet didn't care about timelines. Fake relationship confirmed. She was a marketing stunt. Maya watched the clip in silence. Her chest felt hollow. Her phone buzzed. Adrian calling. She didn't answer. It buzzed again. And again. Finally, she picked up. Why didn't you tell me? She asked before he could speak. It was before. I don't care when it was. Maya, you said you weren't like him. I'm not. But you used me. Silence. Yes, he said quietly. At first. The honesty hurt more than denial. At first, she repeated softly. I didn't know you, he said. I was angry. I was reckless. And now? And now I wouldn't make that choice again. She closed her eyes. But you already did. He exhaled slowly. Let me explain in person. No. Maya. You wanted a distraction, she whispered. Congratulations. You got one. She hung up. Her chest felt tight. For the first time since this began. She wanted out. The next day, she didn't show up for their scheduled appearance. Caroline panicked. Reporters speculated. Adrian drove to her apartment himself. No manager. No security. He knocked. She opened the door slowly. You shouldn't be here, she said. I didn't bring cameras. You didn't have to. They follow you. I don't care. That's the problem, she shot back. He stepped inside before she could close the door. They stood in the small living room. He looked out of place there. Too polished. Too bright. I was angry that night, he said. I wanted to hurt her. I know. But I didn't know you. That doesn't make it better. No, he admitted. It doesn't. She crossed her arms tightly. You confirmed it was PR. At first. She flinched again at those words. He noticed. It stopped being PR the moment you told me about your mother, he said quietly. She looked up sharply. That wasn't for sympathy. I know. Then why does it matter? Because you're not a headline, he said. You're real. Her throat tightened. Don't, she whispered. Don't what? Don't make this sound meaningful. It is meaningful. She shook her head. You don't get to decide that. He stepped closer. I don't think about my ex anymore, he said softly. That's not my problem. It is. Why? Because when I look at you, he said quietly, I don't feel angry. Her breath caught. He was close now. Too close. That's not love, she said. I didn't say it was. Silence filled the room. Her heart pounded. You scare me, she admitted suddenly. He blinked. Why? Because I don't know if you're acting. He held her gaze. I'm not that good. She almost smiled. Almost. But then she remembered the audio clip. And her mother's photo. And Victor Vale's name. You need to leave, she said. He studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded. I'll fix this, he said quietly. How? I don't know yet. After he left, Maya sank onto the couch. Her emotions were tangled. Anger. Hurt. Confusion. And something softer she refused to name. Outside, cameras flashed in the distance. And somewhere in the city, Victor Vale watched everything unfold with interest. The sharp crack that echoed through the massive office. Adrian's head turned from the force, his jaw tightening as pain shot through him, but he didn't move back. Victor's chest rose and fell with anger. His eyes burned with something darker than rage. Fear. I warned you, Victor said coldly. I told you to stay away from her. Adrian slowly turned his head back, his cheek red, his expression steady. You don't control me. Victor laughed quietly, but there was no humor in it. You have no idea what you're doing, Victor said. That girl will destroy everything. She hasn't destroyed anything, Adrian replied. You have. Victor's eyes narrowed. You think you know the truth? Victor asked. Adrian didn't answer. Victor walked slowly to his desk, opened a drawer, and pulled out a thin file. He stared at it for a moment, as if deciding something. Then he tossed it onto the desk. Adrian didn't move at first. Open it, Victor said. Adrian stepped forward and picked up the file. His fingers tightened slightly as he opened it. Inside were documents. Old documents. A hospital record. A birth certificate. A name. Maya Hart. His heart skipped. Victor watched him carefully. Go on, Victor said softly. Adrian's eyes moved across the paper. Mother's name, Elena Hart. Father's name, Victor Vale. Adrian froze. The air left his lungs. He looked up slowly. Victor didn't look proud. He looked tired. She's my daughter, Victor said quietly. The words hit Adrian like a physical blow. No, Adrian said immediately. You're lying. Victor didn't react. I had an affair, Victor said. Years ago. Before your mother died. It was a mistake. When I buried. Adrian's hand tightened around the paper. She got pregnant, Victor continued. She refused money. Refused protection. She disappeared. Adrian's mind raced. Maya. 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 Victor's voice hardened. She came back years later, Victor said. Not to see me. Not to beg. Just to survive. Adrian remembered Maya's stories. Her mother. Her pain. Her hatred. Victor exhaled slowly. She died giving birth, he said. Silence filled the room. Adrian's chest rose and fell unevenly. Victor stepped closer. She is your sister. The word echoed. Sister. Adrian's stomach twisted violently. Images flooded his mind. Her smile. Her laugh. Her tears. Her lips. No, Adrian whispered. Victor watched him carefully. That is why you will end this, Victor said firmly. Now. Adrian's hands trembled slightly. His entire world tilted. He couldn't breathe properly. He couldn't think. Victor placed a hand on his shoulder. You see now, Victor said quietly. You were never supposed to love her. Adrian stared at the paper again. Then something caught his attention. A detail. A date. His eyes narrowed. He read it again. And again. His breathing slowed. Victor noticed. What is it? Victor asked. Adrian looked up slowly. This date, Adrian said quietly. Victor said nothing. Adrian's voice was calm now. This says Maya was born 11 months after you last saw Elena. Victor's expression froze. Adrian's eyes sharpened. That's impossible. Victor's jaw tightened. Adrian stepped back. You lied. Victor's silence said everything. You assumed she was yours, Adrian said. But you never confirmed it. Victor's face hardened. It doesn't matter, Victor said coldly. It matters, Adrian replied. Victor's eyes burned with anger again. She believes I'm her father, Victor snapped. That belief alone is enough. Adrian stared at him in disbelief. You let her hate herself, Adrian said. Victor said nothing. You let her believe she was abandoned by a monster, Adrian continued. Victor's voice dropped dangerously low. She needed to stay away. Adrian's chest tightened. You were protecting yourself, Adrian said. Victor didn't deny it. Adrian stepped back slowly. Relief flooded him. Warm. Powerful. Overwhelming. She wasn't his sister. Not by blood. Victor had never proven it. He had only assumed. Adrian turned and walked toward the door. Victor's voice stopped him. If you walk out that door, Victor said coldly, you lose everything. Adrian paused. His hand rested on the door. For a moment, silence filled the space. Then Adrian spoke without turning around. She is everything. And he walked out. Maya stood alone in her apartment. Her hands shook. Her heart hadn't stopped racing since Victor left. His words echoed in her mind. You are my daughter. She didn't know what to believe. Her entire identity felt like it was breaking apart. Then the door burst open. She turned sharply. Adrian stood there, breathing hard, eyes filled with emotion. Adrian, she whispered. He walked toward her slowly. He lied, Adrian said. She froze. What? He never proved it, Adrian said. He assumed. The dates don't match. Her heart pounded. What are you saying? She asked softly. His voice broke slightly. You're not my sister. Silence. Heavy. Unbelievable. Her knees weakened slightly. Tears filled her eyes instantly. Are you sure? She whispered. He nodded. I checked everything. A tear rolled down her cheek. Years of pain. Years of hatred. Years of believing she was unwanted. All built on a lie. She laughed weakly through her tears. He let me hate him, she whispered. Adrian stepped closer. He didn't deserve you. She looked at him. Really looked at him. Why are you here? She asked softly. His answer came immediately. Because I love you. Her breath caught. The words hung between them. Raw. Honest. Terrifying. I tried to walk away, he continued. I tried to do the right thing. He stepped closer. But you are the only thing that has ever felt real. Her heart broke open. I was scared, she admitted. I know. She stepped toward him slowly. You could lose everything, she whispered. He smiled gently. I already know what losing everything feels like. He reached for her hand. This time, she didn't pull away. Their fingers intertwined. Warm. Certain. Real. I choose you, he said. Her tears fell freely now. I choose you too. He pulled her into his arms. She held him tightly. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel abandoned. She didn't feel unwanted. She didn't feel alone. Victor Vale had power, money, control. But he didn't have this. Truth, love, freedom. Weeks later, the truth about Victor began to leak. Secrets, manipulations, lies. His perfect image cracked. The world saw him differently now. He had lost control. But Maya didn't care. She was finally free from his shadow. One evening, she stood on a quiet balcony overlooking the city. Adrian stood beside her. The same city. But everything felt different now. Peaceful. She leaned her head against his shoulder. You changed my life, she whispered. He smiled. You saved mine. She looked up at him. You kissed me to make someone jealous, she said softly. He laughed quietly. Worst decision I ever made. She smiled. Best decision of my life. He leaned down slowly. This time, there were no cameras. No lies. No games. Just them. And when he kissed her, it wasn't to prove anything. It was because he loved her. And this time, nothing could tear them apart. Not lies. Not fear. Not the past. Because the truth had set them both free.